So hello everyone and welcome to another season of TGP1 Racing. It is season 41 and we are back again on F1 23. We are here for the first two rounds of the season. First round, 25% race at Australia, and then a new format for this season, one-shot qualified into a 35% race happening in Brazil. Every week there's going to be a 25% race with an 18-minute quali. That'll be the first race of the evening, followed by a one-shot quali and a 35% race. So that's the slight difference this season. Just riding with Softy now as he's on a flying lap. As I welcome into the commentary box with me tonight, Jack Craig. How are you doing?
I'm very good, thank you, Owen, and I'm excited for another season of TGP1. New teams, a couple of new drivers I'm seeing on the standings. I'm excited to get this new season underway.
Yeah, we're very excited. We've got no standings to run through early doors as this is the first round of the season. So we're just riding on board with Softy on a flying lap now, about 3.5 minutes to go in this session as he heads towards the final couple of corners now, Jack.
Yeah, he's a wee bit down on his time. I think he's just been saving up the battery to go on another run. Softy obviously currently leading the session by about 4/10 of a second. It's kind of what we've come accustomed to, Softy leading the pack in TGP1. Can he win another championship? New Zealand Calm obviously trying to defend his title as Softy nice through turns 1 and 2 at the moment. Tries to avoid the curb on the exit. They're heavy braking into turn number 3. Will be even heavier in this treacherous conditions in the lovely Aston Martin. Softy though looking good, maybe not improving his time. He's not used too much of his battery this time around on his run, but it's just kind of getting the laps, consistency in the car at the moment, and he's about 1.5 temps up as he sets a purple sector 1.
Yeah, purple sector 1 indeed. Of course, not much ERS usage really in the wet conditions here in Australia, and well, in the wet in general in the F1 game. Just riding on board Casper. He's half a temp up on his previous best on this lap, and Matt Tivos just crossing the line to start a flying lap, but we're going to go back to Softy as he heads towards the final couple of corners here at this Australian circuit. This is I believe turn 11 off the top of my head. I ain't got a track map in front of me so I can't remember, but he's into the final sector now.
Less than a tenth up is the soft cop. What can he do to improve his 30.2? Can he make pole position his provisional pole position? Can he improve on that current time around the final corner? Has a wee bit of a squirrely back end towards the final corner, but what will he do on the run up to the line? He will improve it. It's a 129.8, and that's a very good lap into the 29s in the wet conditions.
Yeah, very good lap indeed. Riding on board with Casper. He's in the last couple of corners himself in the Alpine. Hopefully he'll be doing a bit better than the real life Alpines, who look like they're really struggling for pace this year. As he heads down the main straight, comes across the line. Is he going to improve? No improvement on this lap. Riding on board with Matt Tivos now in the Haas, coming towards the last couple of corners. We've also got Jollers just crossing the line now. Does he improve? No, he doesn't on this lap. Not got long left in this session. I'm not sure how much time is left because I keep getting caution flags. So we've got about a minute left. Matt Tivos backing off that lap. Let's see what Softy's done. He's invalidated, so I think that's Softy done for the session. So let's see what Casper can do. He's currently about a second behind. And is he improving? Yes, he is about a 10.5 up.
Machine Ireland was improving so much, but he's actually binned it at the final corner. But what can the Alpine of Casper do? It's nice and painted in this game still. It is not just carbon fibre like in real life at the moment, but what will his Sector 2 split time be as he gets up? And he's not improving. Softy's time looking safe for the moment.
Yeah, he's looking very safe. He's about 8 tenths clear of the field. Casper has improved overall on this lap, but not enough to be challenging Softy. What about Matt Tivos? Is he going to do anything? As we see here, Casper coming around the last couple of corners now to finish his lap time. Softy's done for the session. He's going to stick it on provisional pole. Casper with a big slide going into the penultimate corner there. Just about holds it together. Another slide coming through the final corner. Hopefully that hasn't affected his lap time too much, Jack.
Hopefully not. Jack Hickey is coming round the final couple of corners. He's improving by about 2 temps. Maybe challenging for that second row of the grid of Matt Tibbles and Johners, who currently sit there. Softy, obviously provisional pole. As Johners moves up into P3, will Jack Hickey be able to make a move on to the second row of the grid. All he's got to do is beat Mark Tibbles and New Zealand Camp to do that. Round the final corner goes the McLaren for the final time in qualifying. It's P3, 5 tenths of an improvement.
Yeah, but we've got Cam coming around the final corner now. Where's he going to put himself? Currently P6. Does he fling himself up into P3? Yes, he does. Dethrones Jack Hickey from that P3, and they share the second row of the grid as it stands. Matt Tibos done. Just got caught coming through the final couple of corners now. Can he challenge himself? He needs to gain about a second to put himself up in the doldrums for fighting for second and third on the grid. He probably won't do that, but he's hoping to gain a couple of positions, maybe put himself onto row 3, and he's not going to do it with a line like that and doing a bit of lawn mowing.
Yeah, well, Alfa Romeo decides to call it the day in qualifying. And it's Softy on provisional pole, and I don't think anyone would have expected that.
I don't think anyone expected Softy to be on pole in the slightest. As we see, he has got pole by about 3 tenths of a second, so decent margin in these wet conditions. Casper will join him on the front row, and Cam is third. As we're just waiting for a couple of guys to retire, the ones who've just boxed in Court and Dom Smith, and we can go to the results screen. And as if by magic they heard me. So here are the final results for this qualifying session. Softcop on pole in the Aston Martin with 129.989. 3 tenths clear of Casper in second. And then we've got Cam in third. Jack Hickey rounding out the second row in his McLaren. He's the last of the drivers within a second of Softy. Then we've got Jonas in fifth. Matt Tibos in sixth. Court in seventh. Dom Smith in eighth. Machine Island in ninth. And Jovial Manatee making it an all-Irish row number 5 and rounding out the top 10. Then we have Chris Johnson in 11th, Magic Poop Cannon in 12th, Dan Morris 13th, Speed Kai 14th. Then we've got Alistair 15th, Phil Bardrow in 16th, Lewis Craig 17th, and Wet Lemons at the back of the grid in 18th. So what are your predictions for this race? I hear it's going to be a dry race for the drivers.
Well, obviously Softy probably the favourite going into this season. Casper, very quick, especially around Australia. I know Casper from other places. He's a very quick driver. I believe he will be able to challenge Softy, hopefully. New Zealand Calm as well, obviously defending champion. Will he be able to get up the grid and maybe sneak a win? Jack Hickey as well, he's known for a win around Australia.
He is. So, drivers making their final preparations for the Australian Grand Prix Round 1 of Season 41 of TGB1 Racing. Softy is the clear favourite for the title based on previous seasons. Cam is looking to defend his title this season, but I think Softy, my early prediction is Softy may be too much for him. And yes, I'm doing that to put some pressure on Softy.
Well, obviously, New Zealand Calm is the man with the target on his back in Season 41. Softy, obviously, we know his stats, his records, but at the end of the day, it's only what you can do on the track. Can he keep himself out of trouble this season? He's been able to do it in previous seasons, but there's so much competition this year compared to the last few years where it's kind of been the Confessor, Softy, Calm. There's about 4 or 5 guys now who have got that pace to win races consistently.
Yeah, so the lights are coming on. 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights here in Australia. The lights go out and we are racing here in Australia, and it looks a strong start from the front row from Casper. Casper looks like he might have taken the lead, but Softy gets ahead into turn 1. Softy's leading from Casper, and then Cam in third, Jonas in fourth, and then Court is up to fifth. Good start from Court there in the Alfa Romeo, heading towards the first couple of corners now. Softy maintaining the lead. Then we've got Casper behind in second place, Cam third, and it looks a bit of slicing and dicing there between the Alfa Romeo and the Red Bull of Machine Island. Machine Island's had a great start. He started down in P9, he's already up into P6. Meanwhile, Softy is leading the race as we finish Sector 1.
It's a great start from the guys on the soft. The top 4 all started on the mediums. The Machine Island is all over the back of the Alfa Romeo, looking to go to the left-hand side to make a move, but he's going to get boxed by his teammate Jonas further up, and he's going to have to wield and give it a bit as Court looks around the outside. And he thinks better of it as Cam is currently attacking Casper further ahead. Yeah, Cam looked to go to the outside of the fast chicane, couldn't quite make it stick, and he's had to slot back in behind Casper, but the top 3 have already shot off from everyone else. Meanwhile, there's a bit of a train forming behind the Red Bull of Jonas further back, but we've got to keep an eye on these front 3. Cam
hassling and harrying the Alpine driver in front of him.
Yeah, can't calm. Obviously no DRS until the next lap, but Cam will use that ERS. Casper using ERS as well to try and defend. Looks like it's not going to be a move into turn number 1 for the Williams driver. Can he make a move into turn number 3? Of course, very heavy braking. One of the main opportunities for an overtake. As you see the guys in the background, maybe, and Cam looks down the inside, but thinks better of it as Machine Ireland finally does get past the Alfa Romeo of Court Gill behind.
Yeah, looked like a good move around the outside of turn number 3. Decent move there. And the Red Bulls are now lying astern in 4th and 5th position. Court Gill now is going to try and get his position back. And meanwhile, Matt Tibos looking at the back of him. Jack Hickey has a very poor start, by the way. He started in 4th and he's all the way down in 8th.
Yeah, it wasn't a great start from the McLaren driver, but those guys on the soft Machine Ireland and Court, they just bounced up. As you see some synchronised swimming from the Red Bulls further ahead to swap the positions. Obviously Machine Ireland on the faster compound.
Synchronised swimming. I didn't realise they were doing their fancy dancey with the legs as Court is looking to the move down the inside of the Red Bull driver. Jonas, can he make it stick into this tight corner? No, he can't. He's still sitting behind, but he's looking very racy, the Alfa Romeo driver. Meanwhile, the top 3 have shot off from the rest of the field, and Cam has had a slide, dropped off the back of Casper, and now it looks like it's a 2-horse race at the front.
Yeah, Casper has actually done it really well defending from Cam, but managed to stay within that 6/10 to Softy to maybe get a move done with the DRS. As you see now, he'll open up the rear wing of that Alpine this lap, obviously not on the straight, but on that back straight towards turn number 11 or 12, I think it is. Maybe try to make a move later on.
Yeah, just looking at what tyres everyone started on as well. Pretty much the majority field started on the medium tyres, apart from Machine Island, Court, Jovial Manatee and Magic Poop Cannon. They're the 4 drivers on the soft tyres, so they'll be the 4 we expect to come in earliest.
Yeah, I believe there's no safety car as well, so there's no danger of starting on the mediums and being forced into using the hards for the remainder of the race. As Court now, he's the closest man on track to anyone. He's trying to get past Johners, who seems to be holding him up and doing a job to let Machine Ireland get away as Court gets so close to the back of that Red Bull, and this time he's got such a good run out of the chicane. Johners has got absolutely nothing to defend with, and that is a lovely move. Textbook from the Alfa Romeo.
Yeah, textbook move. He had the DRS to help him on that 3rd straight as well. 3 DRS zones here in Australia, and he was using that to his full advantage. Court is up into P5. John is back down to P6, and he needs to make hay while the sun shines on those soft tyres. Meanwhile, Jonas is looking again at Court. He's going to have the DRS this time round. Is he going to be able to make a move down towards turn 1? I don't think so. No, not quite. He's going to try and linger. It's actually 4 DRS zones around here. I forgot about that as well. So it's 4 DRS zones for the drivers to put up with. Is he going to make a move into turn number 3? No, not quite close enough this time round. We'll go back to the battle at the front. That is Softy and Casper, kind of stolen a march on the rest of the field. Meanwhile, Rashid Iden looks like he's closing in on the back of Cam.
Yeah, Cam's had a few squirrely laps. He's ran out of ERS as well. He's depleted, so he is struggling a wee bit, and that soft compound obviously going to be faster at this moment in the race as the Red Bull driver looking to do what Court did to his teammate and maybe make a move, as Casper is very, very close to the back of Softy as well, as Machine Ireland runs a wee bit wide and keeps it out of the gravel. I tell you what, Jovial Man, he's had a great start. He's at 5 positions, and he's already in the DRS of Matt Tibbles, who's just been overtaken by Jack Hickey.
Yeah, he's just taking advantage of those soft tyres. He needs to try and make advantage of the soft tyres, having the better grip before they start to fall off the cliff. Yeah,
and Jack Hickey is actually reeled in these guys. These guys have been battling Machine Johners and Court.
Machine Island down the inside of the Williams driver, puts himself up into the podium places. Textbook DRS move there. Is Cam going to be able to get the move back? He's not going to have the DRS this time because it's a double detection zone, that last corner. So Machine Island gets the position and is up into 3rd place.
Yeah, lovely stuff from the Red Bull driver, making good use of those soft tyres that will be starting to wear off around about this next couple of laps.
He's lost the position. He had a massive slide coming out of turn number 6. Big slide there for the Red Bull driver. He loses the position to Cam, and he's got to do all that work again.
Yeah, that's tough for the Red Bull driver. It's not what he would have wanted, of course.
Alistair's out.
Oh, Alistair's had a wee accident in this first sector, not what he would have wanted, and Casper has been very impressive on the back of Softy. The gap is only 3/10 of a second, and maybe this time around, can he get the move done before the pit stops?
Can he indeed? We're on lap number 5 here at Australia. Phil Bardrell has taken a 3-second time penalty. That is a bit of disaster for him. Meanwhile, the front two are getting away. Machine Island, I think he's starting to struggle on those soft tyres. Meanwhile, further back, Johners is all over the back of court. We've got 4-car train. This is the battle for 5th, 6th, 7th and 8th now. There's a big slide there from the Haas as Cam has entered the pit lane. And Johners looking to the inside. Oh, side by side, there's contact. They've both gone wide. They've both not ended up in the wall somehow. And Jack Hickey's thinking, thank you very much, lads. I will take that position, and finds himself up into P4.
Well, a stress-free race for Jack Hickey. Not even having to make any moves, and he's up into P4. Easy work for him. Court, he's been struggling on those softs. He's now got the AlphaTauri of Jovial Mani on the back of him as well to defend from, as Casper's losing some ground to Softy up ahead. But Matt Tibos, he's kept on these guys. Johners, he's past Court Gill now as well, of course, with Court having the wee mishap. But can one of these guys, Matt Tibos or Johners, make a move?
Yeah, well, Johners is looking at the back of Jack Hickey into the far chicane. I don't think he's going to be able to make a move. No, not quite. Is Roy's also looking at the back of court. It's a 5-car train, this, for 4th down to about 8th place. Quite a scrap going on. Johners looking to the outside of Hickey. He just about leaves him room, Hickey, but that is all he needs. And Matt Tibos is looking to the inside as well, potentially. No, he's all over the back of Johners, though. Is he going to stick it up the inside of the penultimate corner? No, not quite.
Johners had a very unlucky run. The line that Jack Hickey made him take compromised his run into the final part of the sector. Will Matt Tibos be able to make that move? He's so close to the back of the Red Bull, but the DRS just helping the Red Bull driver pull away at the moment. Yeah,
he is indeed. The 5-car train is, well, it's very much a DRS train here. Jovial Manti at the back of this on the soft tyres. We've got the 2 soft tyre runners at the back of the train.
And New Zealand Cam has passed Dom Smith and Lewis Craig, getting out of the dirty air and the traffic. He's now got a couple of seconds up the road to Phil Bardwell.
Casper is all over the back of Softy, 3/10 of a second behind. He's going to have the DRS wide open, head towards the far chicane now. Is he going to try and move around the outside of Softy? Softy doesn't quite give him the room. He wasn't quite alongside, so he's rightfully allowed to do that. But Casper still all over the back of him. He's picked up a 3-second time penalty. That's not what he wants to see. With Softy in front of him, he's going to look to the outside of Softy, try and hang it round the outside. Can he make it stick? Softy forces him wide, and that is that. Casper has to set him behind once again.
Yeah, Casper, just when Softy was probably starting to feel the pressure, Softy had no ERS compared to Casper, but he just wasn't able to make the move, and obviously picking up the time penalty probably will cost him in the long run to the soft cop. But now, these are the stages in the Grand Prix where we're going to see the pit stops. Who's going to pit first? As you see Machine Ireland calling it a day on them soft tyres.
Yeah, Court's in, Jovial Manti, all the soft runners decided to call it a day on lap number 7. Mediums could go a bit further in this race. Matt Tibos all over the back of the... Well, he was all over the back of the Red Bull. Red Bull driver of Johners just got a really good exit out of turn 1.
Yeah, the downforce of that Red Bull managing to pull away from the Haas. But the problem for Johners is he's now almost out of that DRS zone to the McLaren ahead of him, and if that does happen, he probably will be a sitting duck.
Well, Casper's coming again, sorry to interrupt, but Casper's coming again round the outside of Softy, takes the lead of the Grand Prix, and he wants to shoot away with that 3-second time penalty as well. Gets the move done well before the far chicane. He's going to be a double DRS, I believe. No, Softy's going to... No, he's got the DRS, it's double DRS again. So he's going to have the DRS to hold on down towards this tight corner towards the end of the lap. But Casper in the lead, Softy down to 2nd place.
Yeah, it was a great move from Casper. Softy didn't really defend it too much. He knows he's got that penalty in the bag, and he didn't use the ERS to defend it. But will one of these guys now go into the pits, as you see Casper and the Alpine crew?
They're both in.
Now, who both are into the pits. Will we see anyone further back make a stop? No, not at the moment. Johners is in as well, but Casper now, this is it. It's down to the pit crews. Who's going to get out first? It should be Casper. He had a bit of a gap to Softy, but obviously that time penalty, Softy's now, he's just got to make sure he stays within that 3 seconds.
Yeah, they're going to come out nose to tail like they were before the stops. Cam is also heading down the main straight. Is he going to jump the pair of them? He's definitely jumped Softy. He's going to have a look at going around the outside of Casper. Casper leaves him the space on the outside. They head towards turn number 3 now here on Australia, and he has to slot him behind. Does he dive it up the inside? No, not quite. And Dan Morris is also right behind Softy, but Dan Morris, I believe, is not stopped yet.
Dan Morris hasn't stopped, but obviously 3-lap older tyres for New Zealand Cam. He needs to get the move done while those soft tyres are cold on the Alpine and the Aston Martin. He does not want to be in a battle with Softy for P2, which could end up being P1 depending on the penalty. He wants to make this move now. The DRS should be open on that Williams. I can't quite see it. It doesn't look like it is. It's not open. Maybe he's got some technical issues on the rear wing of that Williams. He should have opened this time around. He does. Can he make the move now? The move that Casper couldn't make on Softy. He's going to go down the inside of the Alpine, and the Alpine driver yet again loses out in a battle at that turn.
Yeah, he does. Cam into the lead of this race, but he is, like you said, got the older soft tyres, so I think this will come back to Casper and Softy. They just need to try and hang on to the back of the Williams driver as they head down the main straight. Going to have DRS this time, Casper and Softy. But what about we've got as Casper looking to the inside in towards turn 1, gets it done with the DRS and retakes the lead.
Lovely move, easy stuff from Casper. This is what the next few laps of this Australian Grand Prix could be. Softy just biding his time. He's keeping in the gap and ready to pounce on Cam or Casper whenever any mistakes happen. Johners right on the back of Jack Hickey, going to go round the outside of turn number 3 if he can. And the McLaren leaves him no room at all, and Coors almost had a spin further back, and that means that he cannot take the position of a weak Johners.
Yeah, meanwhile, no ERS available for Cam. We can see the flashing light deployed on that Williams. Softy looking to the outside, side by side. DRS wide open. They're going to be side by side in the fast chicane. Wheel banging, they're still side by side. And Softy, what a move round the outside. Round the outside of the left-hander in the fast chicane. Gets the move done and puts himself back into P2 in this race.
Beautiful move from Softy to get P2 in the Grand Prix. Obviously P3 at the moment, but will turn into P2. Great move, but that is just the definition of trusting the drivers in the race. Cam obviously giving Softy plenty of space, and that was just a beautiful move, and you won't see many like that, of course, this season.
No, you won't. That takes a lot of balls to pull off a move like that, as Softy has proven there, and he's put himself up into second position, net second position. They're actually getting back to the lead of Matt Tibos as well. Softy looking to the outside. Can he make the move round the outside of turn number 3? He's going to try and hang it round the outside, but I think he's run out of space. Yes, he has, and he has to slot him behind the Alpine. But what a scrap we've got. Well, this is for the lead of the race, 4 cars, but Matt Tibos, of course, not made a pit stop yet.
Oh, it was lovely trail braking from the Alpine driver. It looked like Softy was going to get the move done, but just a little lift off the brake pedal from Casper allowed it, and Softy now is going to try and make the move, but Matt Tibble seems to be in the way, and this could be a three-way battle into the turn. Casper's lost out to Softy, and looks like he's going to lose out to Cam as well. Cam has made the exact same move Softy made a lap previous.
Yeah, and Softy has got himself into the lead of the race. Casper's been completely mugged there. He's lost 2 positions in the space of 2 corners. Oh, it's a big wiggle down. Yeah, big wiggle coming out of the corner for Cam. Softy may scarper into the distance while these 2 scrap over second place. But this is a great scrap. What's Casper going to do? He's going to have the DRS down the main straight, wide open. So's Cam, who's got more ERS to use. I think it is just about Casper, but I think he's going to hold off to use the ERS a little bit and use it all down this straight towards turn number 3. Riding on board with the Alpine driver here in Australia round this Albert Park circuit. Lap 12 of 15 has been completed, and what a race this has been as Dan Morris is out the race.
Oh, Dan Morris has had a disaster there at turn number 2. He's had the unlucky curse, but look at Casper, he's pushing the gearbox of that Williams around the first and second sector. Cam's touched the grass a wee bit, maybe a wee bit of dirt on the tyres, but it isn't going to matter. The slipstream, the ERS, the DRS is going to make Casper fly past this time around, and Cam's just got absolutely nothing to defend with, and Softy has now broken that DRS gap, and it could be that the Aston Martin is going to win the Australian Grand Prix.
Yeah, that could be curtains for Casper and Cam in their chances of winning this Grand Prix. Softy's broken the DRS, but Casper's going to try his best to claw it back. He managed to momentarily get it back under a second, and can he consistently show the pace and gets back to the Softy? We've got 3 more racing laps after this, so anything can happen in Formula 1, and it normally does.
Yeah, Jack Hickey is under pressure from Court Gill for the back. Court Gill made a lovely move on Johners on the previous lap around the outside of that famous Casper turn where he's lost so many battles. But what can he do now? Casper is about 6 tenths back, but Court maybe not close enough to make a move into turn number 1. Going to maybe try into turn number 3.
Yeah, Casper has clawed the gap on Softy, actually. I think he's looking like at this phase of the race, he might have the pace on Softy. He's got that 3-second time penalty, so he'll be pushing hard. He needs to get, if he does get to the back of him, he'll need to make an overtake fairly quickly and scarper off into the distance if possible.
Yeah, he'll need to do that, but that is a big gap you need on the Softy, even without a penalty. With a penalty, that's such a big gap to try and get. Softy does have 1 warning to his name, as I've seen a little bit of water on the track. Could there be some rain towards the end of this race, or is my screen lying to me?
Oh, big slide there from Casper coming out the fast corner. There is a little bit of rain. There is rain on the screen. You're not lied to. There is starting to rain here in Albert Park. There's going to be 2 laps to go when they cross the line, and it's going to be very sketchy for these drivers in these last couple of laps.
Oh, could be a very entertaining end to an already entertaining Australian Grand Prix. What can Casper do now? He is within the DRS. The battery is at the same percentage. The only difference is the slipstream and the DRS. Can Casper get the move done and maybe win the race on the track? That's obviously pride at stake as well for these drivers. It's not looking like it's going to be this time around at turn number 3, but Casper 5 tenths of a second, showing his pace early on in the season that he can keep up with these guys at the front.
Yeah, he's looking to be right on the back of Softy, showing good pace in this first Grand Prix in Australia. Gets a good run through there. A lap and a half to go here in the Australian Grand Prix, and it's looking like Softy will win the race regardless of whether Casper passes him or not, because I doubt he'll make 3 seconds in that time, Casper, unless Softy makes a mistake. But Casper putting in a very strong showing, and he wants to win this race on pride.
Absolutely, it would be a great achievement just to finish first on the road, even if it does mean it's going to be P2, because he has broken that 3-second barrier to New Zealand Cam. He got the track position, but the tyres just haven't survived those 10 laps that he required him to.
He's looking very iffy now. Softy had a mistake into that tight corner. Casper had a slide going into there as well, and it's getting wetter and wetter here in Albert Park. We've got 1 lap to go. These drivers are going to try and cruise it around. They're going to have to be so gentle. This is basically intermediate conditions now here in Australia, but there's no point pitting now. You've got a lap to go. Wet lemons out of the race. Not surprising in these conditions. We may see some more drivers feel the rate of attrition as we go on to the final lap here at Albert Park.
What can Casper do? It's his final couple of opportunities to make up the position and lead the Grand Prix for the final time. He needs to get a move on though, because Cam is 2.2 seconds behind and will
DRS
move
disabled
into P2, and the DRS is disabled as from race control, so maybe Casper isn't going to have an opportunity to overtake Softy to be first on the road.
Yeah, the skill by these drivers on this last lap, it'll be very difficult to try and keep the car on the road. The slick tyres they've got on are losing temperature corner by corner, metre by metre. No DRS for Casper to help him out on this run this time. He's going to have to close in somehow, miraculously, on the run down towards the chicane. He's all over the back of Softy. Very tentatively, they go through the left and then the right, try and keep it together on the exit. He's got a bit of overtake to use. Softy's lights blinking at everyone, telling us he's running low on hers. Casper getting closer and closer to the back of him, basically pushing him round the corner there. Just got 3 more corners to go here in Australia, and it could be anyone's guess. So difficult. Is Softy going to hold on? 1 more corner to go after this. Softy looks like he's going to go on to win the Australian Grand Prix. Round number 1, a big slide from the pair of them coming around the final corner. But Softy wins round 1 of the season. TGP1, season 41, race winner, Soft Cop. Casper comes home second, and Cam rounds out the podium. Machine Island will come home in 4th, followed by Jack Hickey rounding out the top 5. What a finish to this race.
Absolutely outstanding from the drivers. What a Grand Prix it was. So close at the front three for so long. Cam's tyres drifted towards the end. A wee bit of wet conditions spiced it up as Dom Smith is currently making a move for P13, and I do believe that's a couple of points for Dom Smith finishing in P12 now, isn't it?
Yeah, he pitted for Inter tyres. He pitted for Inter tyres, so he's now carving up the bottom end of the points. Is he going to... I think he was running 10th before that, though, so he's actually lost out by pitting for the Inter tyres.
Maybe didn't feel too confident as the final couple of guys crossed the line. Speed Kai, disappointing for him in Williams' teammate up in P3. You expect him to be towards the top end of the field. A disappointing one for him tonight.
Yeah, that's a disappointing first race. His teammate gets on the podium and he's finishing, well, last on the road. But he did make the finish, but there's no points for 15th in TGP1. Points only go down to 14th. Cam is your driver of the day, according to things, as we see the podium ceremony here now in Australia. Softy won the Australian Grand Prix, and it was probably a lot harder work than he was expecting.
Absolutely, I don't think he would have expected that type of pressure from newcomer Casper, but that is the battles we are going to be seeing throughout the season of TGP1 Season 41. Will we have those three on the podium challenging for the title? I sure hope so. But Softy, another race win to add to his collection, and that trophy cabinet must be slanted in his house because there's no way it can take all them trophies.
Yeah, it's very much a massive trophy cabinet. It's not a trophy cabinet, it's a trophy garage in Softy's case, with the amount of trophies he's picked up in TGP1. A full rundown of the results now. Softy wins the first round of the season and gets fastest lap point as well. Casper comes home in second, and then Cam is in third. Machine Island finishes fourth after starting ninth. Good result for him. Hickey finishes in fifth, rounding out the top five. Then we've got Court in sixth, John is in seventh, Matt Tibbos in eighth, Jovial Manti finishes ninth, and Phil Bardrell rounds out the top 10. Magic Poop Cannon, Dom Smith, Chris Johnson, and Lewis Craig round out the point scorers, with Speed Kai the last of the finishers. Then we have Wet Lemons, Dan Morris, and Alistair Bain all failing to make the checkered flag. As we get finished one race in Australia, we now jet off to Sao Paulo and Brazil for the Interlagos circuit and round number 2 of the season.
One of my favourite tracks. Will be a bit longer than 18 laps. Obviously a 35% race, one shot qualifying, so you only get one attempt. One mistake is all it takes to send you to the back of the grid. Those guys do know the pressure, and well, one shot quality, anything can happen. It only takes one wee squirrely moment and that's your lap ruined, but I do believe our money will be on Softy to sneak a second pole of the season.
Yeah, it is indeed. So, we're getting ready to go for round 2 of the season in Brazil. This is going to be a one-shot qualifying and a 35% distance race, so 25 laps, as it's perfectly timed. The lobby settings changing to give us that information. One-shot qualifying, 25 laps round this Interlagos circuit. Softy with a 8-point championship lead after the first race of the season, but there's a long way to go. 20 races, 10 weeks of racing in TGP1, and this is only week 1 of it. So just waiting for the drivers to settle down, calm their nerves after a scintillating Australian Grand Prix, and get ready to go for round 2 of the season, Jack.
Yeah, absolutely. Round number 2, Brazil. One of the most exciting tracks. We've had a few entertaining moments in TGP around Interlagos in TGP1 and in TGP2. We've had a few moments in TGP2 together, actually, haven't we, in Brazil? Some wet moments and some dry moments, but hopefully the race is just as entertaining as the previous one.
Yes, indeed, that's what we're hoping for. Another entertaining race here in TGP1. So, just waiting for the final instructions given to the drivers ahead of the second round of the season. So let's have a look at how we're doing. Anyone in the comment section, now is your time to comment and say what you're thinking about that first race. Wet Lemon says he couldn't even make the line. I presume that was in qualifying, and well, in both cases he couldn't make the line. And Stereogram is watching. Hello, Stereogram. As we see ourselves getting ready to go for round 2 of the season. So, any thoughts, comments, concerns, please put in the comment section now. It will pop up on my screen, and I will be able to read it while we have this lull between the 2 sessions. And hopefully it's not much longer.
The plane's taking a wee bit too long to move from Australia to Brazil as the teams get set up.
Oh, Shay has commented, can we ban Softy? Thanks, I want podiums. Well, we wish we could, but he's a bit good, unfortunately. Unfortunately, I think everyone else just needs to try and get a bit quicker. I think that's unfortunately the case for many drivers. They're trying to keep up with Softy, and yeah, it's a tall order to do that at the best of times.
Winning it without Softy, kind of like being second, even when you do win the championship when Softy's not there. But obviously, one of the quickest drivers probably the quickest driver we've ever had in the league. But if you can win the season, win the championship with a full season of Softy, then you've most definitely deserved the championship. Obviously, we've had some great battles with Softy over the past few years. Matt Tibos, one of the few people that managed to overcome Softy over the full course of the season. I don't believe there's been many others that have managed it, have they?
No, there's not many drivers at all. So, well, another post, that is Magic Poop Cannon. He said, wet lemons makes the line, apparently. He didn't in either race, so I don't know where you've got that one from, Magic Poop Cannon. As we see, come on, we've got things to do, places to be. What's all this different about? I can't ramble on forever, can I?
One thing that is really good to see going into this second round is a lot of the TGP2 guys towards the back of the race in Australia are in TGP1 this season. Obviously Lewis, Chris Johnson, Dan Morris, Magic Poopcan obviously spent a few seasons in TGP2. It's good to see those guys coming up and getting that experience in the top tier.
Yeah, it'd be very good for the newcomers to get some more experience. They have been in the top tier before, but when TGP2 was about, they raced in that, and now TGP2 has disappeared again. They're back in the top tier, so it's kind of they're just kind of hoping to pick up points as and when they can. I think pretty much all got in the points apart from Kai in that race, so they've all picked up points already in the first round. As we're finally starting to get underway here in Interlagos. Hallelujah. My little message in the group chat telling them to hurry up has worked.
They just need to kick up the backside to get us going. But hopefully it will be maybe some wet conditions in Brazil. It always spices up the race, but we just want another repeat of Australia, don't we? And that battle for the front and the mid-pack was so entertaining. But obviously one-shot quality, anyone that could usually be at the front might actually be at the back with any mistakes, especially around the Senna S's.
Yeah, it is a interesting circuit. 2.8 miles, the Interlagos circuit here in Sao Paulo, Brazil. It is 15 corners officially. You've got the Senna S, the Curva del Sol, then it's Decido de Lago, into Ferradura, Curva de Langiano, Turn 8, Pinarino, Bico de Pato, Mergolo, Shunshao, and then you got the two kinks onto the start-finish straight. And I haven't just looked at Wikipedia for that information at all.
We've got to get our facts from somewhere. It looks like it's going to be a dry session for the one-shot quality. Hopefully the drivers do remember to stick a setup on. I think we've all had that experience where we forget to put the setups on and it's an absolute disaster for the race. But 20 seconds to go until we get underway, and money on Softy again, Owen, to take P1.
Yeah, I would say that's the smart money. Would you mind talking us through a lap on board with Softy during this one-shot qualifying session?
Absolutely, we can do that if I can find him at the start of the middle lap. Down in 16th at the moment. Softy, as the game is deciding to absolutely scoop.
Where is he? I can't find him. Where are you, Softy? There he is. I found him.
There we go. On the run now to turn number 4. Wanting to brake as late as you possibly can. Swing the car to the left. Use all the curb you can. On the exit as well, as much as it will allow you. On the run up the hill now to the double right-hander. One of the most enthralling corners to drive on the game. It's looking good from Softy for the front row as the grid as he drops down to P3 as I say that. Softy now into the next double right-hander of sector number 2 where you want the car to just rotate. You want the downforce to do what it can. Car number 99, the beautiful Aston Martin now on the run up the second hill to the next DRS zone. Only 2 at Brazil, of course, and Softy is going to try use every ounce of energy in the battery. Open the DRS as early as he can, take the shortest run to the line, but it looks like it's going to be New Zealand Cam on pole position. It is Cam by 0.3 of a second. What a lap, as I've seen Jack Hickey stole P3 as well.
Yeah, so the smart money being on Softy, if you were a better man, you would have lost a lot of money there if you followed our advice, so that's not the way to go. As Cam has nicked pole position here in Brazil, followed by Softy in second place. Then we have Jack Hickey in third, Machine Island in fourth, and John is in fifth, rounding out the top 5. Then we have Casper sixth, Jovian Wanty in seventh, Court in eighth, Phil Bardrow in ninth, and Speed Kai in 10th. Dan Morris 11th, Chris Johnson 12th, Wet Lemons in 13th. Then we have Dom Smith in 14th, Miss Chiapelli in 15th. There we got Magic Poop Cannon, No Time in 16th. Lewis Craig, Alistair Bain and Matt Tibos have all not set a lap time.
Couple of guys maybe picking up some disqualifications, track limits of course. Couple of guys will be actually pretty happy with that qualifying session. Obviously Machine Ireland qualifying a bit higher up than he did in Australia. Won't have to make up those early positions like he did in the Australian Grand Prix, starting on the soft tyres. It will be interesting to see who starts on what. It looks a bit gloomy around Interlagos for the start of the 35% race.
Yeah, it's looking, I wouldn't say 50 shades of grey up in that sky. It's just looking one shade of grey as we get ready to go for round 2 of the season here at Interlagos in Brazil. So yeah, the drivers will be making their final preparations, sorting out their strategies. Bit more of a strategy race this one, 35%. Tyre wear is a bit more important to try and manage over the distance. Still an easy one stop, but which strategy do you go for? Will some go aggressive and go on the softs, or will everyone go the medium hard strategy? We will soon find out.
Well, I've done a bit of practice as we start the grid.
4 lights, 5 lights, lights are out, and we are racing here in Brazil, and it looks like a solid start from the front row, a clean start. Softy going to try and stick it up the inside of Cam, doesn't quite make the move stick. Machine Island go side by side with Jack Hickey further behind, gets the move done. He's up into third, Jack Hickey down to fourth, Casper's up to fifth as well, but Cam leads as we head down towards Decido del Lago for the first time. Bit of people running wide further down the field, but the leaders have got through nice and clean, and no incidents again so far through the first couple of corners.
Yeah, it was kept nice and clean for lap number 1, which is always great to see. A Ferrari in the background looking a little bit punchy. As Court looking at the back of Johners, they've had a battle all night long. As Casper down the inside of Jack Hickey, he goes and up into P4. Casper with a poor qualifying, wanting to make a move on, as Johners defending from the Alfa Romeo behind as well. Softy 4 tenths behind. It looks like we could be in for another entertaining race at the front.
Yeah, 25 laps around this Interlagos circuit. Just go around Shung Chao now and heading up the straight for the first time. A lot of drivers starting on some tyres. I'm just going to have a quick nose at that now. Pretty much everyone's starting on the mediums. There's a couple of soft tyre runners in Phil Bardrow and Speed Kai, and we have Lewis Craig on the softs as well, and a couple of hard tyre runners as well further down the field. That is your strategy update as we finish lap number 1, and Softy is 3 tenths behind. There's a bit of action. This Court has come spiraling down the field. I'm not sure what happened there, but there's an incident at the centre S.
Yeah, he's just had a wee bit of Marks and Lewis in 2022, a wee bit of contact. Softy is actually under pressure from the Red Bull of Machine Ireland. but it's not really an overtaking spot unless you're side by side with the car ahead, as Johners is right on the back of Jack Hickey as well. And these guys are so close to each other. It's Chris Johnson and Matt Tibbles are side by side, and Matt Tibbles holds on to P12.
Yeah, he does. Meanwhile, Machine Island getting closer and closer to the back of the soft cop. We're looking at this battle towards the front. The front four kind of shot away from everyone else this time, as Casper's had a great start, gained a couple of positions, and put himself up into this battle for the lead, as the front four are shooting away from the rest of the field. Now, so Cam leads, Softy second, then we've got Machine Island and then Casper fourth. Jack Hickey's coming under a bit of pressure from Johners now in the Red Bull. DRS is not enabled yet, but it will be when they get down towards the bottom of the CNRS. So riding on board with Johners now, as the DRS, he's the most likely to make a move at this time. He's only 3/10 behind Jack Hickey, and he's closing round Curva de Sol. He's going to have the DRS wide open. Is he going to make a move down towards Decido de Largo, turn number 4? No, he thinks better of it. So you probably have to wait until the main straight next time round. But the top four are pretty much shot off from everyone else.
Yeah, Jack Hickey maybe struggling a wee bit on those medium tyres, not completely up to temperature in the McLaren. Machine Ireland and Casper very close to each other. Obviously Softy as well, close to the leader of the Grand Prix Cam. And this is one of those circuits with a bit of strategy, kind of like Bahrain. Do you want to make the move into turn number 1, or save your DRS and make the move into turn number 4? It's going to be one of those heads or tails kind of matchups, and you may get the move done into turn number 1, but you could be getting flung past again by turn number 4.
Yeah, you could be indeed. A bit it's not really any. They're close to the front four, but they're not really getting tasty. Well, we weren't until Softy has just popped in the fastest lap of the race. Went for a move down the ZRS, but thinks better of it. Riding on board with the Aston Martin driver. He's going to get down the ZRS, try and get a good launch out the Curva de Sol. He's 4.5 behind. I don't think he's quite close enough to make a move into Cam down towards Decido de Largo. Meanwhile, Jack Hickey all over the back of Johners as they swap places. Previously going down the centre S towards the centre S, I presume. Jack Hickey gets the move back, and he's back up into P5.
Yeah, Jack Hickey did exactly what I was talking about. He made the move into turn 1 and had no defence for turn number 4, but Johners is going to stay on the back of him as that gap is staying under 2/10 of a second. Our guys are so closely matched in pace. Can Johners this time get the move done? As Softy seems to be a wee bit closer to New Zealand Cam coming onto the back, the start-finish straight this time around.
Yeah, he does go back to that lot. Those front four, it's starting to become a front three. Casper's just starting to lose touch a little bit with the back of Machine Island as the front three are going up the hill for start lap number 5 of 25 here. DRS wide open on that Aston Martin. Is he going to be able to make a move down towards the centre S? Is he going to stick it up the inside? No, he thinks better of it again. He needs to get a better run through the centre S this time, because that's how Cam kept in front, and I think he's got a slightly better run this time, but is it going to be enough to make a move? I don't think it is. No, he's not quite close enough into Decido de Largo to actually stick it down the inside. Meanwhile, battle further back, Jovial Manatee defending from Phil Bardwell, and he keeps his position, but the front three the front four are split up from everyone else, about 2.5 seconds clear of Jack Hickman in 5th.
Yeah, Jack Hickey was defending from Johners on the previous lap and managed to hold on to his position, but Softy now is pushing the Williams through sector 2, and that's allowing Machine Ireland. Oh, he's had a spin! Oh no, he managed to save it. Oh, that was so close to an absolute disaster for the Red Bull driver as we begin the uprise of the hill to turn number 1 for the 6th time this race.
Yeah, 6th time in this race. DRS is going to be wide open on that Aston Martin. He looks closer than he was before. He's surely going to have a go down towards the centre S. Meanwhile, there's a bit of action further back, down in towards the centre S. He gets the move done, and he's up into P1. But Cam is going to have the DRS through the Curva de Sol. He's going to pick it up. The detection is past there, so he's going to have the DRS down this back straight. Is Softy going to hold on in towards Decido de Largo? He goes defensive, and yes, he does hold on with Machine Island lurking in the background. This front three have closed up nicely now, thanks to that overtake from Softy. Yeah,
it was beautiful car positioning from the Aston Martin, trying to regain his championship that he lost to Cam last time around. Machine Ireland, he's closed right up on the back of these guys as Casper now looks to have faded from this battle for the win at the moment. Softy now, he's got the pace of this part. Can he control the Grand Prix like he did in Australia? But Cam, he's just looking so close that these guys are so similarly pace matched that the DRS, it could be who starts the last lap last. He's had a wee moment, and Machine Ireland looks like he's going to make the move.
Yeah, big slide coming out of Shun Chao for Cam, and that means Machine Island's all over the back of him. He's going to look towards down the inside, in towards the centre S, and Machine Island thinks better of it. He knows he's going to get the DRS down towards Curve de Sol, so he has to stick on the back of Cam. But Cam is also going to get the DRS, and I don't think he's going to quite be close enough to make a move into Decido del Lago. No, he's not, so I think he should have taken the opportunity there, shouldn't he?
Yeah, he probably should have, knowing that Cam obviously had the DRS safety buffer of Softy ahead as Matt Tibos is overtaking Dan Morris on the run to turn number 4. But yeah, you want to make the move at turn number 4 ideally, but that defence of that Cam has into turn number 4 with the DRS of Softy ahead, maybe making the move into turn number 1 would have been the better strategy for the Red Bull man. But he's got another lap to try and amend that mistake.
Yeah, he has got another lap to do so indeed, as the front three have definitely cleared Casper now. Casper's dropped to about 2 seconds behind now, and he's got about 2 seconds behind him to Jack Hickman. John is still all over the back of Jack Hickman, but not quite close enough. They haven't really swapped positions in a little while, those two.
Yeah, Machine Iron now will open up the DRS in the back of that Red Bull. He's not going to be close enough to make a move this time around, as Cam is actually closing in on Softy for the lead of the Brazilian Grand Prix. Cam now about 4/10 of a second back. He might be close enough to maybe give Softy the idea that he's going to make a move, but not quite close enough to actually make the move, as Softy doesn't even go defensive, knows he's got the position held for the moment.
Yeah, he has indeed. There's been a yellow flag as some sort of incident further down the field, I think. No, it's just about fine, but Cav is definitely very much on the back of Softy going through this middle sector.
Cam is pushing the gearbox of Softy ahead, but there's still plenty time in this race. Can Cam get the move done this time around? He's obviously got to watch his mirrors as well. Machine Ireland is looking racy and wants to win a Grand Prix, and he wants to get it done on night 1 of the season to mark his title challenge. But this time around, 5/10 is the gap to the Aston Martin ahead. He'll open up the DRS for around about 12 kilometers an hour extra straight line speed, but he's not going to be close enough into turn number 1. How close though can he get through the Senna S's to make a move into turn number 4? It looks close. It's going to be way closer than it was on the previous lap. Softy going to be looking in his mirrors the whole time on the run down to turn number 4. He'll open up the DRS, he'll use a bit of the DRS, and he's not quite going to be close enough to make a move. He stuck his nose in, didn't he?
Yeah, he stuck his nose in. He had a sniff but didn't commit to the move, and I think he probably could have committed to the move there. Maybe forced Softy a little bit wide on the exit and got the position that way, but he didn't want to commit to the move, and it means Machine Island is still lurking in the background. This top 3 pretty much covered by a blanket through this middle sector on lap number 9 here at the Sao Paulo Grand Prix, round 2 of the season. Is Cam going to finally make a move anytime soon? Of course, pit stops will be coming up fairly soonish as well, Jack.
Yeah, they will be, and Jack Hickey is actually closing up to Casper. They look like those guys, obviously the AlphaTauri, the lapped in the background, but those guys, the McLaren and Red Bull, they're closing up, as this time Machine Ireland is the man closest to Cam in P2, but Cam, the DRS is just helping Cam survive in P2. But look how close the front 3 are, coming down the Senna S's on the run now to turn number 4 with the DRS. Cam is not quite as close as he was previously, but will Machine Ireland be able to have a sniff? It's not looking likely this time around, as we go round again to see if one of these guys can make a move, as we're seeing a few pit stops further back, guys dropping a few positions.
Well, Hickey and Casper, Hickey's caught up to the back of Casper and past him, so that's how much Casper's pace has dropped off in this race. As we see, this is now a 4-car train for 4th on the road, as Casper's really dropped off since the start of this Grand Prix.
Maybe not got the pace around the track, maybe the temperature is just overheating the tyres a wee bit. AlphaTauri in the background isn't Jovial Manning, that's also a wee bit lapped struggling for pace early on in the season, but Johners, he's right on the back of this battle as well to try and make a move for P5 and P4, of course, just ahead of him as well. Johners, he'll be wanting to get close to his teammate. A wee 3-4 for Red Bull would be nice for the constructors in night one.
Yes, it would be decent for the constructors. Cam closing in on the back of Softy. Not quite close enough to make a move into the centre S. Machine Island all over the back of him. Needs to get a good run through the Curva del Sol. And if anything, I think Machine Island looks closer to making a move than Cam. But Cam going to have the DRS wide open. I don't think he's going to quite be close enough to make a move. Casper looking all over the back of Jack Hickey as well. Jack Hickey goes defensive. He's going to try and go around the outside of Decido Del Lago. Not quite. Runs out of road. And Jollers maintains position behind as well. He's going to look racy and try and make a move potentially into Ferradura. No, he thinks better of it as the front three is still together. We've got 2 3-car scraps going on about 5 seconds apart from each other, Jack.
Oh, it's absolutely entertaining battles on track. Matt Tibbles made a move on Jovial Manatee a bit further back in the order on the previous lap into turn number 1. Johners, though, he's consistently 3 tenths behind a car, no matter what race it seems to be. He seems to love a wee bit of DRS and pressing triangle and opening that rear one.
Yes, he does indeed. Meanwhile, the front three still covered by about a second. DRS wide open for lap number 12, coming up to the halfway stage of this race. The pit stops should be arriving fairly soonish in this Grand Prix.
Yeah, it should be around lap 13 to 16, those pit stops. The guys will be wanting the softs, they won't be wanting the hards at this stage in the race. Cam has dropped a wee bit further back to Softy this time and won't be able to make a move. Casper as well, and Johners not quite close enough to make a move into turn number 4. It seems to have settled down momentarily in the Brazilian Grand Prix as a wee battle between Chris Johnson and Mr. Giappelli further back. It looks like Chris Johnson is feeling racy. He'll open up the DRS. Luca goes defensive very early, and he will be able to hold on to the position as Chris Johnson doesn't go into the slipstream to try and make the move.
No, he doesn't indeed. So, Machine Island looking to... Oh, big slap. Big snap there through Mergolo and in towards Shunshan. Those rear tyres, I think, are starting to go on the Red Bull of Machine Island. So he's dropped off the back of this. He's still in DRS, but he's starting to struggle with his tyres now. I think the drivers in general are struggling with the overheating tyres. Meanwhile, Johnner's getting closer and closer to the back of Casper as well. There's 2 3-car trains. We don't know which one to look at. Cam's closer to the back of Softy, but again, just can't get good enough run through the centre S to actually realistically make a move down the back straight.
Yeah, the dirty air is playing a factor on the worn tyres, of course, at this point in the Grand Prix. It's just really hard to make a move that's going to stick as Casper is looking to make a move. He's going to dive really late down the inside of Jack Hickey, and Jack Hickey closed the door on him, and Casper has turned round. Maybe a wee steward's investigation going to be happening after the Grand Prix about that one, but it was a very late move from my camera angle. I don't know about yours, but it was a very
I only caught the end of it. I only caught Casper facing backwards afterwards, so I didn't actually see what caused it, so I'm not going to comment until I've seen the replays.
Cam, 3 tenths back now on Softy. Who's going to bite first? Who's going to make the early pit stop? Cam made the pit stop early in Australia, and it might have cost him a chance of winning the Grand Prix. Will he make the same mistake? These guys are going to want the soft tyres, so they want these mediums to stretch.
Is Cam going to make a move down the inside of the centre S? Actually, he's going to stick it. He's not committed enough. You need to commit more than that, Cam, if you're going to make a move. Christ above. As we see him go round the Curva del Sol, but he's closer and closer. He's going to have the DRS wide open. Softy's going very defensive. And if they're both going to be using hers, I think he's struggling on the hers. And again, he just has to settle in behind. I've noticed with Cam, he seems to have a sniff at a move, but don't fully commit to it. Is that just because how good Softy is on the brakes, or is he afraid to commit to a move against Softy? That is the real question.
It's a difficult one to judge. You obviously want to make the move into turn 4, that's the top place, but if you can get the move done on Softy, then you can just got to get it done. But maybe he was trying a different tactic, maybe trying to throw Softy off his line a wee bit, but Softy, he's good under pressure, he knows what he's doing in that cockpit, and he's just managing to hold on. But of course, plenty of time left in this Grand Prix, obviously 25 laps, so Calm this time around, maybe not as close as he was previously. He'll open up the DRS. He has a full battery this time around though. Softy a little bit less percentage.
Yeah, they're all in.
All of them jump into the pit lane.
Cam looked very scruffy on the brakes there. Basically sideways coming to the pit limiter line. So it'll be interesting to see how these three get on. The Johners and Jack Hickey battle stays out. So this is a battle for the lead of the race now. But this is net P4 and 5 once they make their stops. Is Johners.
Machine Ireland's jumped Calm. Oh no, it was a bit of lag. I thought he jumped Calm.
No, he hasn't indeed. Meanwhile, we look at the action on the track now. Jack Hickey holding on Johners now. This is the battle for first and second on the road. Now the leaders have made their stop, as most of the field are now starting to make their pit stops on lap 14.
Yeah, these guys have some clean air. About 6 seconds to Jovial Man ahead, and Johners now, he's right on the back of Jack Hickey. Obviously, might be for the lead of the Grand Prix at the moment, but look how close Calm is to the back of Softy. He's pushing him up the hill, and these guys are so close on the exit of this pit lane, and these guys all on fresh softs. Who's going to be able to make these softs work the best and get the move done and win this Grand Prix?
Yeah, so they came in line astern, they've pitted all the same lap and come out line astern. They really don't want to be separated from each other. I think this three just need to go and get a room with each other, to be honest, the way it's heading.
Yeah, maybe some private time as Johners in the pits now. And look how close these guys are. Machine Ireland is right on the back of Calm, who seems to have had a bad run up the hill. Softy is defenceless. They're 3 wide into turn number 1, and Calm leads a Machine Ireland, trying to go right round the outside, and Softy's been absolutely mugged into turn number 1.
Well, he's been mugged into turn 1, but he's going to have the DRS, and he's going to be at the back of the train going in towards turn number 4, and Cam is going to be the sitting duck. Is he going to be a hold on? I don't think Softy's going to be able to make a move, but Machine Island does, and takes the net lead of the Grand Prix. Machine Island first, Cam second, Softy in third once everyone makes their stops. Just got Jack Hickey and Jovial Manzi in front, waiting for them to make their pit stops, but they'll drop in behind once they do.
Calm is having an absolute nightmare. He gets past Softy, and he's still in second place as Matt Tibos gets passed by Casper, who's got a bit of warmer tyres. But Softy down in P3, will he be able to make the moves that Calm wasn't willing to commit to? Obviously, Calm, a disaster. Get past Softy, but you don't move up the position. Absolute nightmare for the Williams driver.
Yeah. He's past Softy finally, but he's now been mugged by Machine Island, who looks like he's going to scarper off into the distance. Looks like he's got better pace on those soft tyres. He's got no DRS this time around, so everyone's going to close into the back of him. The DRS is just about keeping Cam and Softy in play as he sets the fastest lap of the race. Jack Hickey is coming to the pit lane. Be interested to see where he comes out compared to Johners, who pitted that lap earlier, as we see this front three still getting dragged along, and they're going to have to negotiate Jovial Manatee soon as well.
He's only 5 times up the road as Johners finally passed Jack Hickey. The undercut for the Red Bull team has worked, and Jack Hickey is around 2 seconds behind as he's going to have to try and heat his tyres up as Machine Ireland right on the back of Jovial Manatee. Jovial Manatee doesn't seem to be making it too difficult to let him pass. No,
he hasn't. He looks like he's going to let Cam go as well. He's going to let Softy round the outside. Yeah, he's just let all 3 of them go. He just didn't want any of that. He wanted none of that business of the front 3 scrobbling away for the race victory. He just like, nah, you could have it. Off you go, lads.
Probably the wise decision. Make sure there's no incidents or any drama towards the end of this race. But Softy is on the back now of New Zealand Calm. Calm is on the back of Machine Ireland. Machine Ireland, no DRS to defend with. Will Calm, it looks like he's going to make the move. Softy's going to look down the inside. He thinks better of it. And Calm again can't get the move done.
I was riding on board with Softy there, and Cam momentarily shut his DRS. I don't know why he did that. He momentarily shut his DRS to try and maybe get a move into Decido de Largo, but it's not close enough. He shut his DRS for no real reason. Just commit to the move, Cam. It's actually frustrating to watch you.
Yeah, Calm maybe feeling that couple of laps ago when he made the move into turn number 1 and then got mugged off on the straight to turn number 4. It's not worth being a sitting duck and maybe being passed by both guys. Maybe not.
Oh, Cam's had a very poor exit there.
Softy is looking punchy. He's wanting to make the moves. Just maybe taking a wee bit strategically as Calm has actually dropped off a wee bit from Machine Ireland ahead, and this could be a danger zone this time around for Cam.
Yeah, it could be indeed. He lost a bit of time. He just got a very poor exit out of turn number 9, and that was enough to pretty much drop him out of DRS of Cam. He's not going to be close enough, really, to make a move. Is Softy going to be able to make the move in towards the centre S? I don't think he's quite close enough to stick it up the inside this time round, so he's going to have to wait for Decido Del Lago, turn number 4, as he gets through turns 1, 2 and 3 around the Curva do Sol. Is the DRS going to be wide open on both cars? Cam looking to close some ground back in on Machine Island, which he has successfully with the 2 DRS straights.
Beat Kai, and Phil Barswell on those hard tyres closes the door at turn number 1 for the Ferrari, but Cam has closed in. Definitely Machine Island running out of ERS. He's got that blinking lovely rain light on the back of the Red Bull. Me and Lewis call them Christmas trees. It's a bit early for Christmas trees, but Cam is really struggling in sector 2.
Turn 9, he's really struggling for traction out of turn 9. He's losing a lot of time to Machine Island, and Softy is basically having to push him round the corner. But of course, it's very difficult to overtake in that second sector, and Softy is just stuck behind him. Maybe that's a tactic from Cam. He's more worried about... it's weird from Cam. He looks like he's more worried about Softy behind than he is trying to win the Grand Prix.
Maybe he's just at that stage as he looks down the inside, he goes down the inside, this time goes Cam, and they're still side by side, and Cam is going to have a very compromised run now onto turn number 4, but the DRS should help him, as Machine Island's got absolutely nothing to do.
No, he's got nothing to fight for.
Oh
no! Wow! Softy just ran into the back of Cam under the DRS straight. Takes the pair of them out, ends Cam's Grand Prix, wipes his own front wing off, so that's taking him out of contention. I can't believe what I've just witnessed.
Safety car.
Yeah, it's a safety car. I'm not surprised. Cam is out of the race. Big crash on the back straight, run down to Decido Del Lago, and that's a rare mistake from Softy. A rare mistake from Softy. Wow. His racecraft is actually, now I think about it, his racecraft has gone into question before with some drivers, and I think it may have just come into question there. It's like I've just seen a comment, and yeah, Cam looked like he lifted rather than going for the move, but I will have to see the telemetry to get a full understanding. But Softy ended up in the back of Machine Island. He's having to come into the pits, get a new front wing, and it's a Red Bull 1-2 thanks to this.
Well, Red Bull are looking mightily happy at the moment, as Jack Kiggy as well is going to be promoted onto the podium places just about, and this is going to drop Softy to round about Phil Barswell and Jovial Manti in the standing of the race at the moment. But Softy, maybe a rare mistake. It might be one that we need to see the telemetry on. I suppose you said you think Cam maybe lifted, but we'll need to see that as Hickey picks up a time penalty under the safety car. That's mistakes you just can't afford at the top level.
That is not what you want to do, especially running around at safety car speed. That's a very poor mistake from Hickey to make, especially as he's now on for a podium. He's now third on the road, so he might end up costing himself a podium with that. But Softy, well, he's dropped to P6. A lot of guys have pitted, so got to go for those fresh tyres. I think all the top 5 have stayed out. They're going to be on the older soft tyres, I believe. Everyone else behind will be on brand new soft tyres. And it'll be interesting to see. It'll probably be about a 2, maybe 3 lap dash at the end of this race. But going back to the Cam Softy incident, that's going to be one most likely decided in the stewards room whether how much of a penalty if anyone gets a penalty for that.
Yeah, that's going to be one for the main boys in the chat, the stewards to decide later on tonight. We'll give you updates when we know them. But Johners does have a lap fresher old tyres than Machine Island, and for a man that's been stuck behind that McLaren all night, well, Johners could be on for a race win here. If obviously it's a bit too early for team orders this early on in the stages, but Johners could definitely be on for the win here.
Well, like I said, the top 5 are going to be on old tyres. The top guy, ironically enough, the person who's caused the accident that's brought out the safety car, is Softy. He's in P6 and he'll be on brand new soft tyres with about 3 laps to go. Surely he can't get back to the front and get himself onto the podium with that.
The guys ahead are the best of the best. I know Softy is one of the greatest drivers we've had, but those names, you just see Johners, Machine Ireland, Jack Hickey, Matt Tibbles, Jovial Manatee. There's quite a few previous champions. It might be a tough ask.
Well, they're all
previous
champions apart from Machine Island.
Oh, yeah, Machine Island. He probably should have won it at one point as well, and the Phil Bargeville incidents didn't happen.
So yeah, the top two runners on those new soft tyres will be Soft Cop, Phil Bardrell. So it'll be interesting. We've got a half, I'd say 2/3 of the field pitted for new tyres under that safety car. Brand new soft tyres that are gonna be going for about 3 laps. Maybe is the safety car gonna come in this time, or are we gonna have another lap running around behind the safety car? It'll be a very late call because of course it decides it at the end of sector 2. So we'll be seeing any second now. Is there another lap of safety car, or is it in this time? It's in this time. So we're going to have 3 laps of racing here in Brazil to decide round 2 of the season, the Brazilian Grand Prix. It's a Red Bull 1-2. It's just waiting for the moment the Machine Island goes. We're going to ride on board with Johners so we can pinpoint exactly when he goes. Weaving up to the line. I don't know if they haven't got the rule that F2 introduced as Machine Island has bolted before the DRS line and he's caught Johners a little bit off guard, caught Jack Hickey definitely off guard, Matt Tibos all over the back of him as we get back racing here with 3 laps to go. Hickey gonna have to try and defend from Tibos. Tibos sticks it down the inside and gets the move done. He's up into P3 as the 2 Red Bulls scarper off into the distance. Jovial Manatee looking to the outside of the McLaren driver. Is he going to make a move down the inside? Softy is still lurking in the background. Brand new fresh tyres for him as the top 2 have got away from the rest of the field. The 2 Red Bulls line astern at the front. Matt Tibos gains himself up into 3rd. Jack Hickey down to 4th. Jovial Manatee all over the back in 5th. And Softy start to reel in on those brand new soft tyres. Can he make the moves he needs to? Gets himself onto the podium. He can see the podium right in front of him. Or is he going to try some ambitious moves trying to get past these 2 drivers? Looking to the outside we go, Jack.
Yeah, Softy going to try and make these moves. Obviously, we don't know what's going to happen in the children later on. So Softy needs to make these positions up as early and quickly as he can to try and get back onto that podium, to try and catch the Red Bulls, as we haven't seen enough of them 2 winning in F1 these days. But what can Softy do coming up to the hill? He's the closest man to anyone else on track. Jovial Manatee is looking a bit defenceless here. No DRS, obviously, of course, this time around. But the ERS is getting drained from the battery. Softy going to go to the right hand side of the circuit to try and make the move around the outside that will turn to the inside, and he gets the move done. And up into P5.
Up into P5. Meanwhile, Jack Hickey looking at the back of Matt Tibos trying to make the move. Jonas is just about keeping with his teammate, and Matt Tibos is settled into that 3rd now with Jack Hickey all over the back of him. But Softy on those fresh soft tyres, what can he do? He's got 2 more laps to try and get himself back onto the podium in this race.
Yeah, he's got to get these moves done quickly as possible.
Oh, big slide from Hickey.
Oh, he almost went into the back of Tibos there, and Softy's ran a wee bit wide as well. Maybe trying to avoid any crashes further ahead, but obviously DRS won't be enabled until the final lap of the Grand Prix. So these guys, if they're going to make moves, it needs to be soon. Hickey on the back of Matt Tibos. It's around about 3/10. Obviously that 3-second penalty is going to cost Jack Hickey.
And Jonas is now in the clutches of Matt Tibos as well, but we've got to ride on board with Softy. Start the final lap of this race. He's got the drive. He's using the ERS round the outside of Hickey, side by side with the McLaren driver. No ERS left for Matt Tibos either. DRS is enabled this time, so he's going to have a chance with it into Decido del Lago, and he's going to hold it round the outside, gets the move done up into P4. Matt Tibos next on his cooling guard, going to have the DRS, and you can see that light blinking. Also, Jonas is under threat as well from Matt Tibos behind. It's going to be slice and dice. Hickey trying to make a move, not quite, and now the battle really is for Jonas to try and hold on to that P2. It's going to be very close as we get to the line, Jack.
Very, very close. Softy has probably got one more opportunity to make the move, and that is the run up to the line. This is going to be a photo finish in the Brazilian Grand Prix. And Matt Tibos has ran a wee bit wide. Is Softy going to go round the outside of the swooping left-hander? But Matt Tibos tries to push him off. And Softy is going to try and make the move.
He's done it.
He's on the podium. And Johners now needs to get the DRS and use that whole battery up from that Red Bull teammate of his. And Softy is looking punchy on the run up to the line.
Well, he's got fresh tyres, DRS, and he's already on the ERS. Johnny's is going to hang on for his life. Surely he's going to try and hold on. They're both going to have DRS. It's going to be side by side to the line. They're side drafting with each other. Johnny's loses out and Softy takes second place. Machine Island wins the race. We completely forgot about that. The battle was for second. Machine Island, congratulations to you, sir. You've won the Brazilian Grand Prix. But the battling on that race restart was further behind from second downwards.
Absolutely brilliant end to the Grand Prix. I did not expect Softy to get back up into P2. What a move it was on Matt Tibbles, who defended the podium for his life. Of course, he ended up in P4, so he might still end up on the podium after some Stewart's results. But what a drive from Machine Ireland. He managed to keep up at the start with Cam and Softy. He was ahead, so he didn't have any incident in that safety car. But infringement, but what a race win. And obviously a 1-3 that could turn into a 1-2 for Red Bull.
Yeah, it could turn into the 1-2. We'll have to see what happens in the stewards' room. But a good day for Red Bull. And Softy, great run on that restart. Even if he was the one who caused it and had to drop back in the first place. But here are the full results. Machine Island picks up the win for Red Bull with Softy second. Johners is third, Matt Tibos in fourth, and Jovial Monty rounds out the top five. Speed Car in sixth, Jack Hickey in seventh, Court in eighth, Phil Bardwell in ninth, and Casper rounding out the top 10. They've had Dom Smith 11th, Dan Morris in 12th, Chiapelli in 13th, and Lewis Craig rounding out the points in 14th. Magic Poop Cannon in 15th, and the last driver on the lead lap, Chris Johnson, Alistair Bain, both a lap down, and Cam and Wet Lemons not finishing the race. So, those have been your two races in TGP1 tonight, and thrilling stuff all around. Great battles, and a bit of controversy to finish up the night as well.
Great night of TGP1 again. A new season. It's the same level of entertainment. The guys showing why they are the best drivers in the game. And, well, we're back, aren't we, for another season. I can't wait until next week.
Yeah, back for another week. We've got 9 more weeks of racing action to come. We're back next week with the racing on March 12th. I won't be joining you for that one. It'll be Mike Noon and Jack Craig in the commentary box for you next week. Arsenal have got a Champions League game on, and I'm not here anyway, so that's why I'm not about. But hopefully you did enjoy those two races. Any final thoughts, Jack Craig?
If those guys at the front, especially the top four, Casper, Softy, Machine Ireland, Cam, I think it's going to be a very exciting season, and I'm not going to lie, I have absolutely no idea who's going to come out on top and be the champion at the end of the season.
No, it's going to be very interesting to see. 9 weeks to go in the season, and it's all to play for still. But thank you for watching TGB1 Season 41, Rounds 1 and 2 from Australia and Brazil. We will see you next time out for Rounds 3 and 4. Thank you for watching, and we will see you on PS4.